All right, everybody, we are back. We are back. And another TikToker, somebody who, again, for whatever TikTok is, the goofiness and the thirst trapping and the nonsense and trendy not dances and things, there's a lot of great people on there. And I've met so many cool people. And, as of late, I've been really struggling. And so many people have really come in during that time and have been really nice to me. And become, friends, man. And I really enjoy talking to all of them and just being silly with them and just having fun and just having this safe space where we can just kind of be ourselves, even though there's plenty of trolls infiltrating and it's frustrating. But, it's probably 70-30, 75-25 good people. And our next guest is somebody who, I met on there, and he's been supportive of the content and the lives. And this is the first time we're actually really getting a chance to talk to each other. I know a little bit about his story, but not a whole lot. And I always like to give a platform to those who can just tell their story, man, because we're all out here going through something, and I think we're in a very dark time in this world. And everybody just wants to be heard, and no one wants to feel like they're alone, because that kind of pressure that gets put on you it squeezes you and squeezes you until you can't take it anymore. And unfortunately, that's how we lost so many people. So anyway, man, would you like to tell us your name, man, a little bit about yourself?
My name's Jacob. I just beat stage 3 lymphoma. It's considered the most aggressive cancer in the world after being misdiagnosed for 6 months. Very, very scary thing, but I understand what you mean by that. The pressure squeezing on people. I know that too well.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, man. Imagine so. Well, congratulations on that, for one.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, I mean, not many people can say they beat cancer. Cancer is one of those things where you're like, how don't we have a cure for this yet? It's
I did talk to the nurses. Whilst in the hospital, I was talking to the nurses because they were like family at that point. I was in there so much, and I talked to them. I said, I said, in all reality, guys, if I walked out of this hospital tomorrow and said that I had the cure for cancer, I'm sure I'd be dead the next day. Mm-hmm. It's such a $1 billion business. And I mean, even myself, I went through 6 rounds of chemo. I was only, I did the sixth round, the extra round, after I was cancer free to make sure all the cancer was gone. And we did the first 5 rounds of really intense chemo to try and deter this cancer, because I have something called Burkitt lymphoma. Mm. And I don't know if you're probably young enough. When you were a kid and on the TV, you saw the videos of the African children with the big tumors in their jaws or their necks, anywhere in their nervous system.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I had in my stomach. It's actually the exact same thing, except mine is called a non-African, because it's not due, usually in Africa, it's due to Epstein-Barr virus or AIDS, stuff like that, because it suppresses your immunity and it causes your white blood cells to start building up in a spot they're not supposed to. So basically, your MYC gene, which isn't something you're born with, so this isn't a genetic cancer, your MYC gene is something that you gain throughout your life that I don't exactly know how you gain it, but everyone has it, and it controls the outflow of your white blood cells through to whatever infection that you're fighting. So when my cancer started growing, because lymphocytes attached to CD20 muscle cells, my white blood cells went to go attack that, but my body glitched, and it translocated. So my gene had translocated up the tract. And so when that MYC gene went from gene 2 all the way up to gene 22, and it stayed there, it just started multiplying the white blood cells, and the white blood cells started growing the cancer.
Wow, that's crazy. And radiation is what took care of that?
No, actually, I never got any radiation. The big thing that people usually misconstrue with cancer is that radiation and chemo are a lot alike. I'm sure you probably have a better insight on this type of stuff because you've been in the medical area for a bit. You've talked to a lot of people. But if you don't know, then here we go. With chemo, it's an IV medication they give you something called a PICC line, so that it's a catheter in your arm or in your neck, depending on if you have leukemia or any bad type of cancer, blood cancer.
Right.
And so you get IVs of chemo, and that. So if the chemo doesn't work, or if it's not working as well as they'd hoped it to, or if the chemo's not working at all, they'll try radiation. Radiation is just targeted therapy. So they take a machine, or they take a blanket for especially women with ovarian cancer or breast cancer. They'll take something that targets the area that has the cancer, and radiation is basically, it hurts really bad. It's more of a physical pain. I never went through radiation, but my grandma and my auntie did. And they told me that radiation is probably a 4 out of 10 compared to chemo being a 10 out of 10 of pain scale. Because she said that radiation, the only thing that you get with that is that, that little bit of radiation sickness after, and then you get, you don't really grow hair back in that spot. That's it. She says with chemo, you have to deal with headaches, you have to deal with fevers, you have to deal with immunocompromise, you have to deal with losing your hair and puking at every smell. Even, chemo makes you so nauseous, dude, you can't even smell the outside, and you start hurling because the grass makes you want to puke. Like it's like a really bad hangover for a week long.
Yeah. And you're pretty young, right? Didn't you say you're like 18?
Yeah, I just turned 18 in the hospital, actually. I got diagnosed 2 weeks before my 18th birthday with a week left to live if I didn't do any treatment.
Wow, that's kind of crazy to be told that. What was that like? Just to hear like, hey, you have a week left or else?
At first, when I first heard it, I was in pain for so long. My cancer grows 2 to 3 times its size overnight. So when they diagnosed me and they told me I had a week left to live, it wasn't just you have a week left to live or else. They said you have a week left to live or else, and you have a 17 by 10 by 11 centimeter tumor engulfing your bowels, and your intestines are running through it. Nice. So at that point in time, since I wasn't really even able to walk because it was so bad, it fractured my tailbone. It was a 20-pound tumor. At that point in time, when they told me that it was cancer, I was more relieved that someone finally caught what was wrong with me, Yeah. Like obviously I wasn't relieved about dying soon. Maybe I was a little bit because of how much pain I was in, but, I wasn't consciously thinking yes. I was consciously thinking, holy crap, this is insane, but at least they know what's wrong with me, and they know how to get me better if there's any way, right? And I think I got lucky with the type of cancer I got because it's really sensitive to chemo. It's hard to find it, but once you find it, it knocks it right down. They're more worried about it coming down like a skyscraper with too much debris. It gives you tumor lysis syndrome.
Well, and it's so fast paced, like because you're in such rough shape, it's basically just like, yeah, yes, no, like keep going. All right, whatever. Because it's like, what else are you going to do? You don't have a week to, process it. You have pretty much hours, because the longer the longer you take, it's only going to get progressively worse. So you pretty much have to decide then, right?
Yeah. Well, the day that they diagnosed me, Tim, the next day, they waited because it was overnight. They diagnosed me at the nighttime, right? So they waited all night to put me into a room because I was in the Alberta Children's Hospital here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and they're a pretty good hospital, so they had to follow a lot of protocols. And I read through a bunch of their doctor's notes, and at first when I walked in there, so I'm going to give you kind of the story so it all makes sense,
sure.
Okay?
Yeah, please.
When I first started getting pains, it was like December of 24, January of 2025. It started hurting really bad. Like, it felt like something was exploding in my stomach. So I went to the doctor, probably 6 or 7 or 8 times from in between December 24 to June 2025. And I got to say on June 25th or 26th, I went to, cause I live just outside of Calgary in a small town. So I went to the ER. And I've been there a couple times already, right? Like not even a week ago, they were offering me pain medicine, and I told them no because I thought it was still constipation, right? My brain is still telling me, it's just constipation. You don't need any pain meds. And plus, my family has been addicts prior, right? So I'm not trying to get onto that track,
Sure.
Especially if nothing's actually wrong with me.
Right.
And at that point in time, I thought. So I came back in there a week later, and I didn't even ask for pain meds. I said, can I please have one Ativan? That's the one thing I've known to help my stomach pain. I'm assuming it stops it from squishing and cramping on me. And that's what I need. I knew that there was something squishing and cramping. I just didn't know what it was, and that was the pain. So she says, no, the ER doctor says you're a drug addict. You're out of my hospital. You can't come in here and demand drugs. This is an ER, you know? And I said, okay. So the next day, that's when I went to the children's hospital, and they used the same scans that he called me a drug addict with to diagnose me with that huge tumor. So they tried giving me pain medicine in the hospital, and I said no. So the next day, after they diagnosed me that night that I was talking about, the next day on June 28th, I believe, or 29th, June 29th, they put me into the surgery room. They gave me a bedroom in the pediatric ward because I was still a kid, and that's where most of their cancer patients are. And then they bring me to, sorry, I have chemo brain. I'm trying to remember.
No,
they bring me to the, thank you, bro. They bring me all the way to the fourth floor, which is surgery, and I'm waiting in a bed there. And I mean, I'm like red card. So what red card means in a hospital is your number one priority unless there's a code blue, because you're about to die. Like, it's that bad. And so I was red carded, but I had to wait for, dude, there was 4 or 5 code blues that day. It was so sad. I mean, I was hurting, like my brain was just hurting for these kids, but my stomach couldn't hold up anymore. I mean, I think what happened was the tumor pushed on my kidney hoses, is what the doctors told me. So overnight, my tumor grew 2 times its size or so, or whatever, 1.5 times its size, and it grew over my kidney hoses and it pushed them closed.
Wow.
So I had to get urinary stents, and if I didn't want to get those, I had to get the big hoses in the back, which I didn't want that either.
No.
And then the stents, the tumor was so big, it actually wouldn't let the stent go in properly. So it was kind of sideways, but it still worked.
Yeah.
So for the first week, I was in immense pain because of the stents. And then boom, everything was gone. Because my tumor is really sensitive to chemo. The first treatment they gave me was a lumbar puncture, a spinal tap.
Yeah.
They take out cerebral spinal fluid and they put in chemo. So they can test if I have cancer in my bone marrow and brain. And if not, there's chemo in there to prevent it from spreading, right?
Mm-hmm.
That treatment's only supposed to suppress your cancer growth by 15 to 20%. Just the growth. My entire cancer dropped 80%.
Wow.
So I got extremely lucky, but they were really worried about tumor lysis syndrome, which is literally where your kidneys start shutting down because your tumor is there's so much tumor debris going through your pee that you can't filter it out properly, and it just shuts your kidney down.
Wow. Yeah.
But I didn't end up getting that. I ended up getting an obstructed bowel.
Well, it's something. Yeah. It sucks when you have to take the lesser of two evils, but
well, and it was good that I got the obstructed bowel too, because the fact that it was due to the chemo. Actually, it was a perforated bowel. I had a hole in my bowel. So they had to go in there and take out 8 centimeters because it was dead. But after they went into the surgery, they told me that it was a really good thing because they were going to have to go into my stomach anyway to biopsy the tumor inside of my intestine and on the outside and everywhere on the bottom half of my stomach, basically. And so they had to do that anyway. So I kind of speeded up my process by getting a hole in my bowel.
Yeah. No, that's wow. That's one hell of a story, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, there's not many people that get, how many people get to tell it, right? Like I was just, my grandma, she makes these Afghans, and she makes it for this place it's called the Gatehouse, and it's basically you go there, it's a floor on a hospital, but you have less than a week to live. We take the Afghans, and what happens is they put them on, whoever's bed who's about to die, and then the family, they put their name on of the loved one who died, and they take it home, and it's a whole thing. Anyway, we were on that floor yesterday, and it's just like, man, you can feel the death in the air, and you can it's quiet. It's really nothing. All you can smell is like urine, and it's just this awful, like just ominous dark feeling of death. And it's like, oh man, it's so sad. And majority of them are probably elderly, but even me as a kid, like I said, I was supposed to die as a 4-year-old boy, and it's tragic, man. And as they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But sometimes you go, man, like I don't know what you got to tell yourself to get yourself through these storms, but man, it's hard because maybe it helps that maybe you're medicated or, you got a big support system around you, whatever, but it is really, really hard to get through, especially these severe health issues. Because when you're told you have cancer, a lot of people automatically assume like, oh no, I'm going to die soon. And then when you say, especially when you go higher up on the stages, and then you say where it's at, and you say, well, this could work and that could work. It sounds good, but will it actually work? And the fact that it even worked better than even what the doctors thought is pretty good, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, thank you, man. I mean, so I was stage 3. Anyone who gets my cancer, as soon as you get it, you are immediately stage 3. You may have a stage 1 growth or a stage 2 growth based on where it is, but stage 3 is your initial diagnosis, because usually Burkitt's lymphoma doesn't just affect one, but it affects 2 lymph nodes, and it grows so fast. I mean, there's no way that it's any other stage, and it's not stage 4 because it's not metastatic at that point, right? One of the really good things about Burkitt lymphoma is that it's a very localized cancer. It's a very localized tumor. So when it does end up metastasizing, you've waited too long. And I mean, like for me, I lasted 6 months without any treatment, no pain meds, no nothing, no chemo, no nothing, even autoimmune suppressant. I went into the hospital. I can send you pictures after. I have pictures of my blood pressure before they even put me into the hospital. I have pictures of my hemoglobin being low because I had white blood cell cancer. Who would have thought,
Yeah.
The doctors out here are more worried about me having AIDS than fucking cancer, which pissed me off. Sorry for swearing. I don't know if I can do that on your podcast.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Fucking curse, man. It's all good. It's all good.
It was insane though. And I mean, my support system, it was okay during my I'll tell you about it. So when I went in there, I haven't spoken to my father when I went into that hospital I think it was 2016, September 16th, that I stopped talking to him until June 29th, 2025. So 9 years. And I decided that, actually 3 months ago would have been 10 years if I didn't see him. But he came into the hospital to see me, and he doesn't get along with my auntie. So I have my uncle, my auntie, who are related, and then I have my mom and my grandpa on the other side who are related. And then I have my grandma, which is my mom's mom. It gets kind of confusing, but I'll try and explain it as best as I can. So my dad walks in with his girlfriend, who's only 14 years older than me.
Nice. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I was only 2 when they got together, so do the math.
Yeah.
But, so anyways, they walk into the place, and, my dad says, okay, so, because I do rounds of chemo. My rounds of chemo looked like I did 7 days of chemo, and then I had 14 to 21 days of recovery until my bone marrow replenished my white blood cells so that they could suppress it again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my dad said, okay, so on your recovery time, you're able to go home if you're not too sick. So the first cycle, I wasn't able to go home, didn't matter. I said, I don't care, I'll stay here, I'm living. Second cycle, I was able to go home on the recovery. So my dad steps up and says, hey, I can take you. We don't live too far from the hospital. They're probably the closest to my family to the hospital. And I thought, my whole family, I was talking to them about it, and most of them don't like him, right? Because he's very sketchy, and he has a girlfriend that's 14 years older than his oldest son. It's kind of weird. But he talked to them, and I talked to them, and they said, you know what? We all kind of came to the agreement that it'd be good to be able to see my little sisters again, meet one of my little sisters, and get along with my dad. It's been a long time.
Yeah, sure.
So I ended up staying with them, and I was only there for 2 or 3 days, mind you, because I got really sick and ended up going back to the hospital. But when I came out of the hospital, because I don't know, I've been a pot smoker for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. And the doctors told me, because I was in the children's hospital, they don't know what it could do to my treatment. They can't test on children, so they have no way of knowing, right? And you know what? I made the decision to research myself and smoke while I was doing treatment, just pot, not cigarettes or nothing else. But,
right.
And mind you, my cancer has nothing to do with smoking. I have to tell this to a lot of people. There's actually no connections to my cancer and smoking. With my cancer, it's literally, you could be the healthiest person in the world. You'll still get the cancer at the same time that you got it. Just to clarify.
For fuck's sake, like, you have to be like immensely stressed out. So you have to do something to suppress it. Like, of cigarettes, weed, drugs, alcohol, all that, like, it is probably again, I don't do any of that stuff, but like, it's probably the best thing of all those other alternatives. So I don't know how they could ever, I mean, like I said, you're young at that, and it's like you're being told that you're going to die or do all these other things. And it's like, okay, but doing all these other things is actually the hard way. Just letting yourself die is actually the easy way, because in a week you're done. You don't got to deal with the pain. But you have to go through all this, and there's all these risks, and there's no guarantee it's going to work, and yada, yada, yada. So let the guy smoke a damn joint.
Well, and I mean, I went through, I did quit for the first 33 days. That was the first 2 cycles. I didn't smoke while I was inside the children's hospital, obviously. I wasn't able to leave, right? But when I got back to my dad's, I mean, I had my peace there, right? And I was like, okay. So I used that to go to sleep. It was the best. I ate and I went to bed because I didn't have anything for 33 days, and I've been smoking for 4 years straight. I've never gone off it like that, So I tried it again, and I knew it was a mistake when I picked up the bong, obviously, but whatever, right? And my dad, at the end of it, after the 3 days, because I had to end up going back to the hospital, I accidentally double dosed my ondansetron antiemetic medication, right? Because I was taking 2 of the meds in the hospital, and when I got out of the hospital, I thought it was still the same, but turns out one of them is worth 2 of the meds in the hospital when you take them from the pharmacy. So I was taking 2, and it caused an immense migraine. With all the chemo, it did not help. And I ended up going back to the hospital. My dad got all mad at me. He says, well, you made it seem like, or the doctors made it seem like you'd never have to go back to the hospital. Like, they'd come out to do your chemo. And I said, dude, I still have 4 doses of high around chemo. And if I can't last 3 days, you're in your basement, mind you, because he left me in the basement the entire time. He went biking halfway across Alberta, which is like 4 hours away north, 5 hours away. And then he biked back. He didn't come back till like 9 o'clock at night. And then his wife and my sisters were all at Callaway Park all day while there was measles ramping through Alberta. So, like, I don't think I was getting taken care of at all. There wasn't even cling wrap for because I have a PICC line. And with a PICC line, it's like an IV. You can't have a shower unless it's wrapped up in saran wrap or something, right?
Oh, wow, okay.
So he didn't have any cling wrap or saran wrap. He didn't tell me until the 3rd day. And I was like, dude, you could have told me a while ago. I would have had a shower. But at the same time, my PICC line, the thing was pulling off, the wrap. And I was at home, so I wasn't able to get any immediate wrap attention until I got the hospital nurse to come, or bothering my dad to drive to the hospital and change my wrap, right? And I know he didn't want to do that because even though he's the closest, he still lives a 30-minute drive away. And so I ended up just going back to the hospital because I was so sick. And I told my dad, I said, you know what, I'm going to go stay with my grandma, because my grandma went through stem cell lymphoma and skin cancer 3 other times, and then the stem cell lymphoma. So she's had cancer 4 times. So she knows how it is,
Yeah.
So I went to go I told him, I said, I'm going to go live with grandma, and I don't want this to be the end between our relationship again, but I just want you to know that I appreciate what you did for me, and I just don't think that you're able to take care of a kid of my stage right now. He wants to live his own life and bike and hang out with his friends, drink beer, hang out with his daughters. And, I understand that. That's what you're going to do when your kids are that old. And he only has one younger child that his wife takes care of. So he just hangs out, right? And he works. So it's just, when you have a cancer patient in your basement, you can't do that, especially when they're in the middle of high dose chemotherapy. I was getting 7 at once. So I can't, if I fell, I don't know. But I told him that, and he says, well, you ignore your sister anyway, your new one, because the yada, 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 you get fucking headaches. And I said, it was caused by my medication. And plus, when she's sitting there asking me if the sky is blue and I'm having a chemo grade headache, I'm not gonna have it, but I'm not being rude to her.
Right. Yeah.
I just kind of don't say anything after the 20th question, you know? Like I don't really have nothing to say anymore. I just kind of look at it. I'm like, mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you don't get it, you don't get it. It's like, you know, and I mean, in a way, it's like, well, it's a good thing you don't get what I'm going through.
Yeah.
But in a way, I wish you did, because it's like, or just have empathy, especially as a father, where it's like, man,
That hasn't, yeah, and he hasn't seen me in 9 years, and when he does see me, I have stage 3 cancer. Like, what?
Yeah, and even if he doesn't understand the trauma and the pain that comes with all that, it's still, it's like, you know, the word cancer, man. So and clearly you're not faking it. Clearly, and hey, he took on this burden, right? He's the one that said, I'm doing this.
Yeah, he's the one who said it.
He said, I'm taking you, and it made sense, and it was cool, and it was a nice thought. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, if there's anybody that has an excuse to be a dick, or just you know, not the one to be bothered, you know, is you. So it's weird, because I made amends with my dad too, and I actually saw him this year after 25 years. But we kept in touch over the phone. We talked, but we tried multiple times, and it didn't work. And this time we finally got it right. But there was some things. Man. Thanks, man. There were some things that I've been wanting my dad to get over these years. He was so bent on being mad at my mom and mad at this, and I'm like, look, none of that is relevant between you and I. And one day we were just talking on the phone. I was sitting outside, and I just remember him saying things like where he was empathetic and he felt bad that he did this and he did that. And I was like, oh shit, maybe he gets it. So maybe now we can move forward with this, and which we did. And so it went well. But I have my dad with my health issues when I was young. He didn't take it well. He took it really hard, but he also is where, like, and my mom obviously took it hard too. I was dying, but like, he took it in a way where it was just, he just let his anger take over, and it just wasn't a time for that. Like, this isn't about you. This isn't about you anymore. This is about your son trying to live. And yeah, you can take it out on the doctors if you want. You can do that, but you're not making anything better. You got to let go of your anger. You got to let go of your stubbornness, and just,
of course,
and just try to be a dad. And he had moments where he was a good dad, and he had moments where he wasn't. And so, yeah, it's hard to repair that. And I hope one day you guys can really fix it. But it unfortunately, a lot of times it's not on us, especially as the kid. We can try, we can present it and say, hey, you know, this is what could happen, and we could be close again. But when the older a person gets, the more settled in they get on who they are, and they're not going to change. You get some breaks every now and then. But yeah, man, it sucks, like seeing your son having cancer. It's like, that should be an eye-opening experience to be like, hey, I need to, whatever I missed out on, I should fucking fix this right now.
That's what I thought. That's what I was hoping. But he hasn't texted me since that day. I texted him on his birthday. I said, happy birthday. I was still going through treatment. All he said back was, thank you. And no Merry Christmas from him, no nothing. Still, like, he hasn't texted me since I've been cancer-free, nothing.
Yeah, it's his loss, man. It's just.
And not even a week before I went cancer-free, September 1st. So, like, a week before that, so like August something, the end of August, my auntie that was in there, she tried cutting me off prior to the cancer diagnosis. So around March or so, February, March, because I was diagnosed in June. So around February, March, she was, I was talking to her about my pains, right? I was like, this isn't right. This isn't right. Like, this can't be just constipation. This is wrong, you know? And funny enough, I was on a website the other day that I visited during that month, and it was about my cancer. So I had an idea that I had cancer during that month. And I was trying to tell her. And the doctors were trying to tell me that I had Crohn's disease, IBD, irritable bowel. And I said, my auntie says, well, your little sister's having that too. She's having all these issues too. They think she just got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And I was like, oh shit, you know, like, I knew the pain. I thought that I had it. So I was like, that's really bad. So anyways, my auntie starts cutting me out. She says, no, you know what? Don't even bother talking to us until yada, yada, yada. Tell something's happening. Tell an emergency. I said, oh, wow. Okay. So now you're going to take my little sisters away from me. Right. Cause my mom had my little sisters and they went to my auntie a long time ago. Right. Yeah. So she has custody of them, and whenever she cuts us out, I lose access to my little sister. She uses access. She manipulates that all the time. But so we got back together when I got diagnosed cancer. She was one of the first ones there because she had ovarian cancer, and that transferred. Like, she had ovarian cancer. What was it? No, she had cervical cancer. She had that taken care of with radiation, and then she had ovarian cancer. Like, a year later, it came out, and she had just had a whole hysterectomy. So she knows, like, kind of the radiation part of it. She doesn't know any of the chemo, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have different experiences, but she understands the diagnosis. So when she came in there, she was ready to help with everything. She understood that my cancer was holy shit, right? Like, I was in critical condition. I have a video of them looking at my tumor. It's really low quality though, but I'll send it to you as well after this. You can't really see it, but you can hear them talking a little bit about it. And so quite literally, my auntie was helping me until about August, like the last week of my cancer. I didn't know it was my last week of it. Trust me. And I posted something on Facebook because she wasn't listening to me again about my pains. I was like, I couldn't even eat. I couldn't drink for a week because of my stomach surgery. And I said that perforated bowel was just as bad as the tumor pain. And I'm not even going to lie, it was. So I was trying to talk to her about it, and God crossed me again. She tells me not to talk to her again.
Jeez.
So I was like, wow. So I got cancer free. I suppose she would have talked to me at that point. Nope, she didn't. Never texted me yet. She's talked to my mom, and she's talked to her about my sicknesses sometimes, like lately after the cancer, because I've been getting ill, my immune suppressed, right? But other than that, my auntie don't really care. She still don't want to talk to me. She expects an apology from me, and I don't think that I should give her an apology if I was, like, when people think that they're dying, which I'm sure you probably, I mean, you were also really young though, but you probably didn't have a lot of anger about it. But when people think that they're dying and no one's listening, they're going to take to anything that they can that they think people are listening to. So one thing is social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I believe that to be true, but
there's just a certain point where you just, it's like, don't take things so personal. Like, and when someone is really going through it in life, like, good Lord, man, let them say what they want to say. Even if you don't agree with it, you don't like it. It's like, hey, man, they're trying to. It's like I said, that's why I like doing this, because I can give people an outlet to kind of speak, and everybody wants to be heard. And if you think you're just going through it and your health issues are just going around in circle and you're not getting support like you'd like, and and you're young, and you just want to get better. That's all you care about, is getting better. You don't care about working. You don't care about falling in love. You don't care about nothing but just getting better. All that other shit is inconsequential. It falls in comparison to anything else you could possibly want. You don't care about eating. You don't care about none of that. You literally just want to feel better. And as another person who has had many health issues throughout my life, health is, to me, my number one thing, is my most important thing to me. Like, I love my family, I love my friends, and I love advocating for others with disabilities and things. But my health, if I don't have my health, especially my mental or my physical, I can't be the person that everyone loves. I just can't. I can't be a good son or grandson or friend or whatever, because my health just takes me down, and it breaks me sometimes, and I have to try to put the pieces back together. And if I don't have the right person in my corner, like, I'll shut you out, because I don't need it. I've done a lot of this shit alone. For real. How's your relationship with your mom?
My mom's really good. So when I was younger, I was about from 0 to 6. I was living with my mom. Then my mom, she was a little bit down the road of drugs before I was born, but she quit everything, even cigarettes, didn't even have a beer when she was pregnant with me, which I'm so happy about and I'm so grateful for. So she did that. And then when I turned around 6, 7, around 8 years old, no, around 5, 6, 7 years old, she started getting down that path again. And she never let me see it. I'm also very grateful for her. She never let me be around that. But she ended up, instead of waiting for her to get too bad and foster care to try and take me and stuff, right? She, because we were living off our friends in the res like for the last year because we lost our house and shit. We're also living with grandpa too, right? So it's like that kind of conjoined. And so my mom gave me to my auntie. I lived with my auntie from the years of 7 till I was 14. My auntie was really, really bad for my mental. Like she was telling me things like once your little sisters are adopted, because at that point she had my little sisters. This is like 10, 11, 12. She's like, once you're adopted, you are getting the fuck out of my house. I'm going to send you to secure treatment, shit like that. And I wasn't even being like that bad of a kid. I was just chilling. Like, I didn't even smoke. I was just eating and surviving, watching TV. Like, I don't know how bad that is. But, then she'd parade on me for like hours at a time and make me sit there and take it. So that really fucked with my mental because I felt like I didn't have any choice in any matter. I felt like it wasn't worth nothing because I felt like an object. So as soon as she walked out the door after like 3 or 4 hours of her ranting on me, so this is the whole story, that I was sneaking out during COVID, right? I only snuck out like once prior. I snuck out to my buddy's house and just hung out on his trampoline. It was nice. But the next time I snuck out, it was because there was this girl that was saying that she was going to run away and run to Calgary and try and get her hands on a bunch of shit. And I was like, no, let's go to the train tracks. Let's talk, right? I'll try and talk her into going home, you know? So I went to go meet her and she wasn't there. So I went to the Circle K that was near the train tracks in Airdrie. And I texted her on my iPad because I was like 11, 12. And she wasn't answering. Then her mom answers her phone and says, this is Madison's mom, this and that. Like, I need to know where she's at. You know where she's at. You're the last person that's talked to her. I'm like, I don't know where she's at, dude. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, I need to know where you live so I can send the police to your house. I'm like, damn, I'm going to get caught. So I was like, no way, dog. I'm not telling you anything. So I start biking home. And I get home in like 5 minutes. I bike across town. And my auntie, that's when she sits there and parades me, right? But at the same time, I was trying to tell her, like, look, I was trying to help this chick. So really, I understand being mad at me. Can you at least see the good in my activity, right? And she... 4 hours, I was just sitting on that couch from like 3 till 7. She wouldn't let me sleep. She said, if I'm not allowed to sleep, you're not allowed to sleep. I said, fuck, man. I wasn't trying to wake you up. I was trying to help some chick. For me, it all stemmed from a good objective, right? So when she walked out the door at like 7 a.m., I was like, this is my chance. I took my fucking shoes, ran down to the basement because running out the back door would cause the alarm, right? Ran down to the basement, went out the window that I went out previously, walked on the back fence all the way out, and I ran out into the bush in Airdrie.
Wow.
I wasn't allowed to text my mom during all that time. My auntie wouldn't let me. She would actually call my mom and then make me sit behind the screen door so I could just watch her talk to my mom. She wouldn't let me talk to her. And then she'd tell my mom on the other line, which I just recently found out, that he doesn't want to talk to you. Bunch of bullshit. So I texted my mom on my iPad when I got to like my school or something. It's like 3K away from my house. I ran. And I was like looking over my shoulder for her huge Dodge Durango, scary. And I got to my school, got the Wi-Fi from outside, and I texted my mom. She said, okay, I'll be there in 30 minutes. And I was like, shit, my iPad died. My auntie ended up taking my charger out of my pocket while I was running, right? Because she caught me one time on the highway. And so I didn't have a charger. My iPad died, so I just ran to the police station. It's like 8K, 9, 10K away from my house. I was like running, dude. I got lost in a residential, so I ran through someone's backyard and jumped their fence. But I got like not even like 200 meters from the police station, and she found me, or a police officer found me because she put in a missing person report. And I got brought home. I tried telling the officer everything, and she lied to the officer. I told the officer that she'd lied to him previously, and the officer didn't listen to me because who's going to listen to a 12-year-old kid?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that. I never ran away.
Yeah. Wow, man, you got a story, my friend. So you live with your mom now?
Yeah, I lived with my grandfather from 14 till Well, from 14 till now, I live with my grandfather, but I've ran away from his house a couple times because I was very bad, like mentally at that point in time. I wasn't really doing well, so I don't really know what I was doing personally. But I've been back with all of them for the last like 2 years consistently since I was like 16. What I was gonna say when you were talking about like you're not worried about falling in love and shit in relationships in the hospital, just worried about getting better. I had a girlfriend when I went into the hospital. It was like 14 months. And she was like, I don't know, I didn't know how to tell anyone, but she was hitting on me and she was like choking me. And I have pictures and proof of all of it, right? And so anyways, when I got into the hospital, I ended up breaking it off with her, right? And I told her, like, look, we could still be friends or whatever, but I don't think we should be dating right now, especially with all this. Then I came to find, because that was like 3 days after I got diagnosed. Then I came to find out when I was like unconscious and all my family was sitting there listening to a doctor talk about my cancer. And my auntie was sitting there talking to my little sisters that are like, what were they? They were like 7, 6 at the time, or 6 and 5. And my auntie was like, hopefully it's only stage 1 or stage 2, right? Obviously the kids don't know, but they know lower numbers are better, right? Hannah was sitting there, my ex, she was like, oh no, it's gotta be stage 3, stage 4, stage 3, stage 4, it's gotta be. In front of my little sisters. I was like, no way, right? Why would you do that? And then she was trying to brag on her phone. My auntie caught her, I guess. My auntie told me. She was trying to brag on her phone that she was going to be a widow at 19. I was like, that's nothing to brag about, dude. And you're not even married to me.
Yeah, wow. I think she's just one of those dramatization type people. They want attention for their sadness.
Yeah, that's how she's always been. So I ended up breaking it off with her. I told her we could be friends, whatever. And then she ended up raising my heart rate throughout the entirety of chemo treatment 3 times, so high that I had like, one time it was like 170. My BP when they came in because my heart rate was so high. Because she got me so like mad. She was just, I don't know, she would make really bad jokes. And I'm like, okay, if you had the cancer, I would understand. I'm just not that far through to the cancer yet to make jokes about it like that. It hurts.
Yeah.
Right? I still haven't really fully comprehended it and I'm trying to fight it still. So maybe when I'm done, you know? So for the next 3 weeks.
Couldn't you have had her disbarred from your room?
Yeah, I tried. I told them to put me on an isolation room, so it didn't have like her name specifically on it, but only she had to go to the front desk and check in. But
if she's causing you more pain, that's the last thing they want.
Yeah, so I ended up blocking her. And she bought me a graduation truck because I was the first person in my family to graduate with this huge tumor, right? Yeah. And so everyone was proud of me. So she got me like a $500 beater truck, right? Brought it back to the town and waited. She told me that she was going to give it to me when I was out of treatment. And I figured, you know, that's my present. I don't care if we're not talking. You give me my shit, I'm going to give you yours, right? And she tried keeping it. After I told her, like, stop talking to me, you know? And she kept trying to, like, I don't know, she found my childhood, I don't know what she was doing. She found my childhood home, sent it to me and said that she was going to rent it.
Okay. Wow.
And that I could live with her. I was like, that's where, like, most of, like, my trauma stems, dude. What the fuck? Like, yeah. I don't know. She was really weird about it. And then, so I told her, like, we should stop talking. And then she called, I blocked her, and I said, if you need any of your stuff and I need any of my stuff, we'll go through our parents, right? Because I'm not trying to fight with you anymore. And she says, okay, she blocks, or she doesn't unblock, she doesn't block me, I keep her blocked. And then she calls my mom and says, I need to talk to Jacob about the truck. Okay. So I unblock her, I try calling her, because I'm not going to let her do it over text. I want to hear her say it. Right? So I can record it. And so I call her once, doesn't answer. Okay, I leave her. I block her again. I wait 2 hours. I call her back. No answer. I block her again. I wait 2 hours. I call her again. No answer. But I could tell that she's declining it. So I said, Anna, I know you're on your phone. I texted her. I said, you need to answer or else I'm not going to fucking talk to you. Because I don't want to do this over text. And so I called her again. She answered. And then I immediately pressed the voice recording. I have the recording on my phone. And she talks about, no, I don't think you deserve the truck. Listen, man, I'm like, what do you mean, dude? I've already got cancer. You want to try and take more away from me? Like, what the fuck? This sucks. And she's like, well, I really want you to say sorry for everything that you've been saying to me. You've been really mean. And I'm like, and you haven't? I feel like I have every reason to. You were hitting me. You were choking me. When I asked her to get me a glass of water and I couldn't walk on her couch with this big tumor that they said was poop, she said, no, fuck you. My cramps are worse than yours. You can get up. Like, wow, what is that for help, you know?
Yeah.
And I tried bringing that up to her and she said, well, I didn't know it was cancer. It doesn't matter. If I'm in that much pain, I'm not fucking faking it to get a glass of water.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, I guess throughout all this shit you had to endure from a little kid till now, I mean, on the bright side, you beat cancer, man. Like,
yeah.
I guess it's worth it, right? I mean, it doesn't, cover for everything you've been through, but you beat cancer. Now it's like you have a new lease on life. So now, you can find yourself a new woman or whatever you want to do. You can, you still have time to make amends with those who want to. And if they don't, fine, make new friends, find new lovers and so on. Just, I don't know, man, just, you're alive and you probably shouldn't be. So now it's time to just take everything that you, probably all that times that you lost hope and, all that time you missed by just trying to survive. Now use that and just go out and live your life now, man. I mean, is there any chance a cancer could come back?
Well, my remission, the good thing about my cancer, like I said, it's very sensitive to chemo. And we did that extra round. So they said my remission chance over only 1 year, because it never comes back after 1 year. They said very rarely, but they said like only 1 year remission, a 5% chance it'll come back. I said, damn, well, that's the whole chance it had of coming in the first place. I'm not worried.
Yeah. So it's just one of these things you got to get. How often do you got to get checked?
Every 3 months to 6 months.
Okay.
I just finished my CT scans. Everything looks awesome. So, and they said after 6 months, it usually doesn't come back at all. Okay. Like it's pretty remission. It's pretty good for remission chance. It's like a 90-80% remission chance with the Children's Hospital. With adult prognosis, it's like 50. So I got the better hook.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel personally? Just physically?
I feel okay. I have peripheral neuropathy. My bowels are still kind of messed up from the surgery because they took out a little. They didn't take out a lot, but they took out a little bit, and it. I don't know. I'm 8 centimeters closer to going to the bathroom, so.
Okay. Well, he did.
I don't know. Other than that, I mean, it's just like light sensitivity. Sometimes in the morning or at night, or when you've been in the dark for so long, it's way worse.
Oh yeah.
And you get sick a lot more.
So you still got a ways to go, but you're kind of over the toughest parts.
Yeah, I'm after my 6 months now, so I'm feeling better about the remission chance. I'm not worried about it coming back as much as I was before. And I feel better now that I know it wasn't due to anything that I did. I could have been the healthiest person in the world, or I could have been the worst person in the world. I still would have gotten this at this time. And I don't know if you, because was your SJS caused by medication?
Yeah, amoxicillin.
Okay. Well, then I don't know. You might understand what I'm saying from what you've seen and experienced. But for me, when I thought about my cancer, the hardest part was probably the fact that my body tried killing itself off before it was 18. What if we didn't have any medical?
Yeah, no, it's something you got to deal with. Yeah, it's more. I mean, I always say like one of the hardest things to do is mourn a body part, like me with my eyes and. Just trying to, because I still feel like my body hates me. Like, why, like I'll give you a quick little rundown is that I quit my meds 3.5 months ago, almost 4 months ago. I was doing really well. Then my eyes started acting up. I got that together. And then I had
Hmm.
started having urinary issues. I got that together. And then my sleep started acting up and I finally started to get that together. And then all of a sudden my anxiety and depression just started spiking up out of nowhere. Almost 4 months after quitting. Like, why now? And so I had to go back on the meds because I can't do it because it's so much psychotic, psychologically that it was just destroying me. But it's still messing with my sleep. It's messing with all this, and it's like, and just it goes back to SJS where it's like, man, like, why like my body sometimes I just feel like it hates me and it won't stop attacking itself. It won't stop doing things that don't make any sense and you just want to breathe. You want to just come out of it. And like, Christmas just passed and I love Christmas, but I couldn't enjoy it like I wanted to because I'm wiped because I haven't slept and I'm depressed and anxiety. And so,
Of course.
yeah. And I go all the way back to SJS where I go like, even though it was more or less an ear infection that I took medication for, but it's like, damn, man, my body took it so bad and
Yeah.
it escalated so quick where my body just started eating itself and it was like I was melting and it was like, god damn, man, like what is this, what? And it's, I still have effects to this day, just scar tissue here, scar tissue there, and um
Me too.
and
Scar tissue everywhere.
yeah, and then so there's the physical part and then there's the trauma from it. Like you can't ever unsee that stuff. I mean, even though I was 4, I still remember a lot of things being hooked up to tubes. I remember being in pain with no skin, I remember a lot of this stuff. And it's psychologically like, I don't think about it every day. It's not something that I go, oh yeah, I remember that. It just, sometimes it just like little flashes and it's like,
Yeah.
it never leaves you. And it's hard because, I've had health issues throughout. I mean, that happened when I was 4. I'm 37, so it's been 33 years of just so many different health issues. Just random. Oh, look, you got prostatitis, or hey, you got something. Just random stuff starts happening, and you're like, what? Why? And I know like health issues are normal. It happens to all of us, but man, you feel like you go through cancer, you go through SJS, and you're like, that should be it. Like that's my one big one.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee that. My best friend died. She beat cancer, but she died. She died to heart failure at
Because
22.
of the chemo.
At 22, and
Oh.
and it's like, but she beat cancer. She just didn't beat the heart failure. She had pneumonia every day, and she was hooked up breathing machines, and she struggled her whole life. And it's like, and again, I'm not saying that I don't believe. I do believe in God, but there's times where I go, man, like, what is all this for? Because I'm truly not trying to ask for this perfect life or anything. I just want, if I was told right now you have 5 more years left, but they're going to be 5 happy years, I would take them. I truly would. Because I don't want to suffer anymore. I've been doing this for too long. I don't want to suffer. I just want to be happy. I want to breathe, continue to be positive and try to put some light into this world to make it a better place for, hey, the next generation, you. But I can't if I'm always miserable with my health. And so, yeah, man, I can relate way too much. It's just cancer's not my thing, even though I've lost family members to cancer. And but cancer wasn't my problem. I dealt with something probably as bad. I don't know. There's no comparable really. It's just, they're just.
No, I believe it is, brother. It's a lifelong.
Yeah, it's horrific either way, however you look at it. It doesn't matter if you want to say one's worse. Honestly, a lot of times it comes down to perspective. It's like, what would you rather? And it doesn't, they both suck. But yeah, man, it's hard, dude. It's hard. And then you got a long way to go to kind of fight off that trauma. And I wish you nothing but the best because it's, and you've already had so much go on in your life anyway, but I think you're handling it better than most. But you gotta just deal with it. And yeah, I think that whole cancer being like, looking over your shoulder that it could come back any day, that's something that you might have to live with your whole life. I hope not. I hope for your sake that you just say, forget it. But I don't know how you can go through what you went through and not think about it every now and then.
Yeah, I think about it a lot. I I just actually, it's the good thing about my cancer is like the longer that you're out of symptoms, the better you feel. I find.
Sure.
I was really bad the first like 3 months. I was really bad. I was afraid to even be away from the hospital. But what was I going to say there? I think the reason why a lot of people like myself like you, Tim, I think is because you always push back. Like you said, you have all these other issues that just pop up that are popping up, and you know it's normal, but you keep pushing back. A lot of people just, they're too stubborn to even get that stuff checked. And I'm glad that you're at least checking your health and taking it seriously, and not just saying, fuck this and letting everything take away.
You can't, you see what happened to you, right? Like it's just one thing after another. And if you what if you didn't go to the doctor? What if you just said, I'll suck this one up. And maybe it was that week that you had left, and boom, right? Like my thing, they sent me home saying, hey, you have chicken pox. And they were like, good luck to you. And all of a sudden I go home and all my skin is falling off. And it's like, this ain't chicken pox. But it's like, if you don't start to, like I had a urinary issue last year where it was like, because of the scar tissue from SJS, eventually they found some in my urethra and they were like, you're having trouble urinating. Well, that's not good. And I was like, no, glad you came to us soon, because you're basically running out of room here. So we have to go up there and fix it. And it's fixed and it's better. And I'm happy about that. But it's like, it's all it takes, man. It's like, I'm just skipping through life, and maybe things aren't perfect, but it's like, okay, cool. I'm not expecting to be like, oh shit, I can't pee now. And it just happens. And psychologically, all that shit just gets to you, because you don't want to have a catheter in you. You don't want to have to, you don't want to have to deal with any, especially when you go through all the stuff that we've gone through. We don't want something else on top of something else. And,
of course.
I live every day with being legally blind, and I deal with it pretty well. But it's everything else that happens. It's like I've learned to pretty much master and deal with the eyes pretty well, but it's all the other stuff that it's like I can't keep going at life with all these other stuff. And so I think that's where lately I've been in a lot of trouble, is because when I quit my meds and things kind of fired back up with my anxiety, it's like it opened up all the floodgates, all these portals to things that I was stressed about, but I didn't have time to think about, or the medication kept it at bay, where it's like, hey, you're alone. Hey, like this and this isn't going well. Hey, this. And I just kind of put it to the side and just said, I'm okay with that. That's fine. For now, I'm working on me. But once those barriers dropped, it was like, once the gates came down, it was like, oh boy, they're running the asylum. And I'm like, oh shit. And like my health issues are like probably the number one thing in way to gauge how I'm going to be mentally, because my health, like I said, is the most important thing. And yeah, man, health issues, it sucks, man. And that's why you have to really take those good health days as a blessing. Like when you wake up and you feel good, and you're thinking properly, and you see well, or you're walking well, or even if it's not perfect, but it's your good day, because our good days are different from everyone else's good days. So if you're having a good day, man, and you've had a lot of bad days, don't expect tomorrow to be another good day. Maybe it is. We all hope it is, but maybe it's not. So live it up. Do those things you weren't going to do. The dishes, watch that show, whatever it is you said you were going to do it. Because tomorrow you may be right back where you were the day before, and that's going to be really deflating, because it gave you this like glimpse of hope of like, oh man, this is my new normal. And then you go back to living in a dark place, and you're in pain again, and you're like, okay, well this is my normal. That was just an anomaly. So yeah, man, it's hard to psychologically fight through all this. That's the thing. It's just as much mental as it is physical a lot of times, because you have to, if you tell yourself, look, I have cancer and I have no interest in beating this, or I give up. Your body's going to be like, oh yeah, you give up? Okay, cool. We give up too. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Sorry for cutting you off there.
You're good.
I honestly believe that every day when you have something, I mean, I understand it's okay to be, it's grief and, be sad about your losses and you know. But I don't want that. I don't want to let myself be sad. I hate being sad. So honest to God, I know it's probably the worst for me, but I pretend that I'm just happy every day. So it gives me a consistent schedule and I don't have to worry if anything's a bad day or a good day. I'll just pretend it's all a good day. Because at that point in time, don't give yourself any reason to be sad. You know what I mean? Like don't let it get to you. Just push past it because you know you have to get past it. I mean, I understand medical issues. Holy shit, man. That's the only thing with cancer. You really don't have no choice but to fucking cut it off and go beat it. You know, like you can't let it get to you at least for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, you've been dealing with this since you were 4 years old. So I don't expect you to be out here all lovey dovey and, you know, kisses around. But I understand the sadness and shit like that. My philosophy is I'm going to make sure that every day is a good day for myself. And if I can't make it good for myself, I can make someone else's day better. So at least try and do that. And then that makes me feel good too. So every day can be a good day if you try and make it the good day. You know, I understand. I'm trying to find a good analogy, but the chemo fucked my brain up for a little bit.
I get brain fog. I have it too. No, man. No, you're right on with it. And that's why, like, some people are saying you need to take a break from going live or posting, and it's like, no, man, because I know I'm helping people. Like, I feel gross on the inside right now. I don't feel good. I got a long way to go because I just started taking these meds. They take 4 to 6 weeks to fully kick in, so I got a shitstorm ahead of me. But I'm trying my best to still show up and hopefully help somebody so that they're still here tomorrow, you know? And if I can just make a difference in some way, then that's fine. And turn your mess into a message, right? So if I can just take what I'm doing and it may not be the most positive content, but if you can really see it, it's like, you know, there's like a painting, right? Many people can see a painting for what it is in different ways, and it can interpret it in different ways. It's like you from the outside, you could go, "Wow, this guy's a mess. Holy shit, this is a problem." But if you really look, man, like I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to live. I'm trying to be happy. I'm trying to overcome having disabilities. I'm trying to do so many things, and while dealing with everything that I'm dealing with, I'm also trying to help other people. And
yes, that's amazing.
That's the ultimate, like, evolution of just like a full circle where you're like, because there's a lot of people that are in pain right now and they want to inflict the pain on the world because they don't want the world. They want the world to feel like them because they feel like they're deserving of something. But there are some of us out here who, even at our lowest, we have no interest in hurting you. We have no interest in seeing the world burn. Like, I don't want that. The world's already burning. Why do I want it to burn more? I don't want anyone that I care about to die. I don't want, or to be injured or whatever, be affected. I don't want anybody in the world to be affected. It's like there's enough wars and fires and things going on. Like, nah, man, like I'm already in enough pain. I don't want people to feel like me. I don't want people to ever endure SJS. I don't want anyone to deal with mental health. I don't want anyone to go, and I know most people do, but I don't want people to endure what I go through on a daily basis. No, even though I may make it look sexy sometimes, it's not. You know, we do our best with it. We piece it together, and some days we show up and we're just like, all right, this is what I got, and this is what I'm gonna give, and that's all. You know, that's all you can do, right? Sometimes all you can do is your best, even if your best isn't good enough. It's fuck it. You just gotta keep going. And yeah, man, it's unfortunately there's a lot of evil people who just do want to see the world burn and they take their anger out, but that's not us, man. We can't. I don't want that. Like, cancer is a bitch, SJS is a bitch, and it's like, if I can help somebody, you know, be more cautious when they take antibiotics, I did my job. If I can keep somebody from, killing themselves, then I did my job. It's not up to me to save lives, but I've had people tell me that, hey man, you saved my life, and I'm like, what did I do? I just talk, and it's like, hey, you kept me sober, or hey, you gave me a place to come when, no one would listen to me, or I didn't feel alone, or you said the things that I wanted people to say, or whatever those, whatever it is, right? And it's like that means the world to me. And so even though I'm at I've hit a small low point in my life right now till I get back on these meds. It's like, I know that I have such a purpose, and I know I have a reason to be here. So that's what fuels me and keeps me going, even though I feel miserable. But I'm going. Yeah. I'm going because I have to, man. I'm going because I'm needed. And yeah, man. And for some reason, it's, you know, they say the strong will survive, and it's like it's those of us who have just been through hell, who want to see the world. We want better for the world, man. We don't want everyone to have to struggle like we did. Like, cancer should have been your only thing that you've ever been through in your life, like, negatively. But it's clearly hasn't been, and it won't be, because more things will happen, because it's just life. But, you know, we will get through it because, you know, we always do.
Well, and I mean, you have an autoimmune disorder. That's one thing that I got to say, man. Like, most cancer patients, I've talked to a lot of them, and they said that when they realized that it wasn't an autoimmune disorder, they were happy that it wasn't long term. So, like, when you said earlier that you don't know if it's worse or better, in all reality, it's got to be worse, man. It's life threatening, and I'm really sorry that you had to go through this. You're really strong for going through all this. Eyes are really important to me. And I can't imagine how important they were to you, especially at that young of age.
Yeah, they didn't.
But I'm really hoping,
but they do now.
I really hope these scleral lenses really help, man. Like, I'm really hoping, because that would be amazing if we can.
Yeah.
Get you on a healthier path for your SJS. I mean, you're already on the healthiest path, I guess we can hope for, right?
Yeah, well, and the reason why, and I think I've said it on a previous podcast, but at one point it was to get this surgery, and the reason why I didn't do the surgery route is because I have to take like all these anti-rejection drugs for like 5 years of my life, and again, SJS and everything I've dealt with medication in general, I'm that guy that, you know, 2% of people get insomnia on fucking Tylenol or whatever. I will be that guy. You know, whatever it is, I'm that guy. My body's very sensitive to medication. And so you're going to give me anti-rejection drugs, and it's just going to be hunky-dory. I'm just going to deal with that for 5 years. I don't think so. And, and so I was like, I need a safer route that maybe isn't going to, because the surgery could absolutely give me more sight. But it was like the lenses could protect and buy more time, and they could help in the long run. So it's like, and I'm not so concerned with getting more sight back. I'm concerned with preventing and just having stability and balance. And if I can just keep my eyes from being scratched, like the corneas from being scratched, I can keep them from being irritated. I can keep them lubricated and all that. Then that's good enough for me. If they don't get worse, then I'm okay with that. That's all I want. If they get better, awesome. But as long as they don't get worse, that's all I care. That's truly all I care about. I can live life with what I got, and then I can just live with that. But yeah, no, man, yeah, the eyes are important, but every body part is. It's just, I don't know, perspective. I've talked to many people who are in wheelchairs, and they're like, "Man, I'm so happy that I have eyesight," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I would way rather not. I'd rather lose my sight than." You know, be in a wheelchair. And it's a perspective thing, man. You get so used to one thing that you're like, okay, this is just me, and I couldn't see myself any other way. But the body adjusts, man. Your mind adjusts. You have to. Otherwise, it breaks you. And we didn't let it break us.
I actually, on that note, when I got diagnosed, I saw a lot of these kids that were really, really sick, you know, with the chemo, and they're really bald and they have no hair anywhere. And I'm walking in there, I had a full afro. So I felt really bad. And I'm like this big kid walking in with an afro, and there's little kids going through what I'm about to go through. And I'm scared as all hell, but I look older, and I look, you know, not scared for them probably. So what I did was I shaved my head and I left these two little antennas.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, I braided everything. I left two little braids, so they're like little antennas, and I made myself look ridiculous so that the other kids wouldn't feel so bad about themselves. You know, they would feel like, okay, well, this guy looks like this, so I don't gotta worry, you know?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, man. That's the thing. I think for those of us who go through this kind of stuff, we have dark sense of humor. We're just trying to laugh it off and have a good time and hope to God things get better, man, because it's hard. Sometimes you have to. There's like, I don't know for you, but I guarantee you've had to do this. Like there's levers that you have to just kind of turn off, and you have to just go into that dark tunnel that you don't want to do. Right? You don't.
yeah,
When they tell you have a week to live, they're telling you, yeah, you have a week to live, but you're gonna have to go through all of this suffrage, and you have to go inside and turn some of those levers off, because if any of them are on, you ain't gonna do it. And so
yep,
there's a point where you go. There's a point of no return where you have to say, look, come hell or high water, I'm doing this, whether I want to do it, whether I'm gonna like it, whether I have no interest in doing this, but I also have no interest in dying. And
yeah,
I have more disdain for dying than to going through all of this suffrage and pain. And that's something a lot of people don't get. Is there's something you have to just turn off. It doesn't matter. Like if you're struggling and you're like, hell, if you're suicidal right now and you're struggling, you just can't do it. You have to turn that lever off. Like, I'm not gonna kill myself, but I'm
yeah,
going to the ER and I'm probably gonna get admitted, but I have to just live with that because I need help. I need to get away. I need to be better. Whatever comes of this, comes of this. This is not what I want, but I also don't want to die. And you got to weigh your options. Well, what means more to you? And it's fight or flight. And for those of us who pretty much have had to fight our whole lives, that flight option is not eligible. It's not you can't you see it. You see that it once was an option, but it's not highlighted. You can't select it. It's just there. And all you got is fight. And the sucky part is when you have to fight, you have to stay and take all the brunt of everything that's coming at you. But it won't break you if you just stand tall and keep going. And, it may hurt, but there is an end date to it all. It just may not be tomorrow.
yeah. Well, brother, I don't know much else to say now.
No, you're good, brother. We should probably wrap up soon anyway. I appreciate you for wanting to come on, man. Like I said, I'm glad we actually got to know each other more too, because you can't do much on TikTok. But
Yeah, man, thank you.
I'm so happy that you're still with us, man. You beat cancer, and you're gonna continue to stay on top of it. Obviously, keep in touch, buddy. We'll get through. We'll get through this life one way or another. Come back. But yeah, man, stay strong. Lean on those who care about you. Good luck.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Good luck to your grandpa. And yeah, man, if you need anything, I'm around. All right.
All righty, brother. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care of yourself.
You as well. Bye-bye.
See you, buddy. All right, guys. If you couldn't tell, I'm really struggling with this episode. Not because of him or anything that was talked about. Well, I mean, I mentioned some of those things, but yeah, I'm not doing well off my meds, and I've got back on them, and I'm really trying my best to get it together, because like I said, I am truly blessed and I'm truly happy to be alive in this world, but I don't want to go out like this, man. I don't want to keep feeling this pain in my chest. I don't want to be so afraid of everything. Life has been really rough lately, and I need to figure out how to get it back together. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting the podcast and being with me. We keep on keeping on, man. We'll be back next week. And just thank you, man. I thank you guys a lot, because I never thought anyone would care about anything I had to say. I never thought I would do this for 5.5 years. And it's been a safe space for others and for myself. So thank you for allowing me to enter your ear canals for a while. All right, guys. See you next week. Take care of yourselves. Try to be strong. Try to be healthy, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.